Yo, what is cracking? Steel doors. Just waiting for people to join the chat. Another day of good game, baby. This might be my intro music, man. Steel doors. Yes, 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 yes. What's cracking, man? Let's jump into this good game today, man. Today we're going to be talking about the 12 universal laws. This is some secret society type of stuff. A lot of people that are in secret societies and whatnot, they understand these laws, and these laws are real, just like the law of gravity is real, just like all these different laws of physics are real. There are laws of things that are non-physical. There are laws of things that are non-physical, and a lot of this stuff is what a lot of these dudes in these secret societies talk about. These things are not known to the public. There are occult. Occult, like it means like just unknown to the public. It's not really like it doesn't have to be some conspiracy theory, weird type of craziness. It's just something that's not really known to the public. But these things have been around for thousands of years, and if you understand them, then you can be successful. You can win the game of life if you understand the rules of life. Just like if you don't understand how gravity works and you decide to jump off of a tall building, you're going to have a negative effect. That's how these 12 universal laws work. These laws don't care about whether you're aware of them or not. The only thing they care about is whether you adhere to them. Fire does not care whether a baby touches it, an old person touches it, a rich person, a poor person touches it. Fire does not care. The only thing that fire does to people that touch it is burn. It doesn't care if you know about it or not. It doesn't care what knowledge you have about fire. None of that stuff. A lot of times, like kids, that's how they learn. They touch something hot, and then boom, they're like, "Oh shoot, I shouldn't have touched that." Right, and they learn. So the universal laws do not care whether you know about them or not, and it's good for you to know them, because if you do, it'll make your life a lot easier. So, with all that being said, the first law, the first of the 12 universal laws, is the law of divine oneness. It means that you're connected to everything. So imagine a web, and you touch this web and everything starts to shake. Um, so this means your actions, your thoughts, everything ripple out beyond you, right? Everything is connected. That's why there's that you get what you give type of energy. So if you give negativity, you get negativity. Everything's connected, right? You do something crazy to somebody, you're really actually doing it to yourself, right? The law of divine oneness. So once you realize that everything is connected, then you'd be a lot more careful about what you do, what you say, how you treat people, because it's all connected. You do something negative to somebody, you're doing it to yourself. The second law is the law of vibration. So everything is energy. This is where that law of attraction stuff comes from, is because everything is energy. If you've ever walked into a room and noticed the vibe was off, or if you've ever seen somebody and you've interacted with somebody and the vibe was off, you just felt like a negative vibe from them, that is the law of vibration. Everything is energy. People are all energy, right? So these things are extremely important. Energy is everything. Energy vibrates, and when you are tuned into positivity, you will get more positivity. If you are tuned into an authentic vibe, people definitely resonate with you because then you attract more of people like yourself. When you're authentic, you get people like yourself. When you are not authentic, then you kind of repel people because they don't know which frequency to line up with you on, right? So everything is energy, man. And one thing I've realized in my journey is that when I started to elevate, certain people just started to drop out of my life. Certain people started to disappear. What's cracking? What's cracking, Don? What's popping? You good? Yeah. So people started to disappear out of my life as I elevated, and that is because of the law of vibration. So when you don't operate on the same type of frequency with people, they automatically just kind of fall out of your life, right? The law of vibration is where the law of attraction comes from, like I said earlier, because everything is a frequency and you will be in the frequency of what you are. So that's why the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. That's why people just kind of hang with each other. Like you got certain groups and vibes and tribes because that's all vibration. They're all operating at the same frequency, right? So vibration is extremely important. Um, this is why you need to get yourself in a higher vibration, which means that things are going to come a lot easier to you. What does that mean? So lower vibrations is anything that you know that you're not supposed to be doing, that you feel negative about doing, that right there you want to stay away from. When you have a negative feeling about something that you're doing, that means that you know that it's not aligned with where you feel like you're supposed to be. But when you actually keep the promises that you make to yourself and do the things that you know you're supposed to do, that's when you start to vibe higher. Once you vibe higher, things come to you a lot more naturally, right? So the law of vibration is extremely important. When you're real with you, life when you're real with yourself, life echoes back opportunities to you, right? So you have to vibe high, and you do this by staying away from the vices, staying away from negativity. Don't consume anything that is going to bring you down. Only consume things that will bring you up. So you can consume bad food. You could consume bad information. A lot of us are actually on a diet of mental junk food. So a lot of garbage we take in our minds, and then that garbage lowers your vibration, and then you're going to get opportunities that match with the level of vibration that you're at. So if you're watching stuff like Shade Room, World Star Hip Hop, and all this other stuff that's kind of toxic, then your vibration is going to go lower. But if you pursue knowledge, you pursue becoming a better person, you pursue things that make you feel whole as a person, then your vibe is going to rise up. All right, let's see what we got going on. So, when you die, you will feel the vibration. Sure. And do you have to be delusional? Um, Delusional just means that you are believing in something that is not there yet, which is literally how everything has ever been created, ha- gets created. So Steve Jobs had to be delusional to make this MacBook because before he made it, it did not exist. It did not exist. This did not exist. Nothing exists. This phone didn't exist. Um, this place, somebody had to be delusional and think I'm going to build a building like this, and now I'm sitting in the building. The same thing with this chair. Everything comes from delusion, and your ability to create is based on your ability to believe, right? What's popping? So you have to be delusional. You know what I'm saying? um Vox, you said when you die, you will feel the vibration. Everything that exists currently that's alive is vibrating. Nothing does not vibrate. This has been proven by science, right? So everything vibrates. You just got to choose which level of vibration that you're going to stay attuned with. All right. Now, then there is the law of correspondence. Ah, as above, so below. As above, so below. So whatever is happening on the inside is what's happening on the outside, right? That is the law of correspondence. Um, your life is a direct response. It's going to be a direct response of your thoughts. Whatever you think consistently will become what your life is. This is just a fact, right? The people that make the most money think about money the majority of the time. The people that are the most fit think about fitness the majority of the time. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that. So, whatever you think about most of the time, that's the law of correspondence. So, you ever notice that the most negative people always have like the most negative lives? Like they have like constant bad things happen to them over and over again? That's because of the law of correspondence. So, they focus on negativity, and then their brain, which is a filter, your brain can't focus on too many things at the same time. So, it's just going to focus on what you focus on, right? Because right now, my subconscious mind is taking in everything in this room. It sees everything that's happening in the room. It understands everything that's happening in the room, right? But if I was to take in all this information, my brain would literally explode. I'd go crazy. You would go crazy if you were to take in all the information and actually focus on it in a room, in any place. You'd go crazy, right? And that's why your brain has a natural filter. And this natural filter gives you more of whatever you focus on. So you wake up in the morning, you stump your toe, you have a bad day, and then you cut somebody out in traffic, and then it just keeps going downhill from that point. It just keeps going down. What's up? What's up, Lonzo? Yeah, it just keeps going downhill from that point because that's what you're focused on. So it is so easy to focus on negativity because that's our brain's default setting. Our brain is connected to negativity automatically because our brains are trying to protect us constantly, right? So you might have somebody that did you wrong 20 years ago or 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you remember everything about this person in detail, but there's that one person you can't remember their name ever. Like you've met them a million times, you can't remember their name. You can remember the person that did you wrong, but you can't remember the person's name that you met a bunch of times. The reason why is because your brain is more interested in the person that did you wrong in order to protect you from future harm, right? So you literally will focus on negativity, and it's actually difficult. You actually have to try harder to not focus on negativity, right? So you have to put in effort. And that's the way this world works. That's how the universe works. It works where the things that are the best for you are actually the most difficult. And the things that are the worst for you are actually the easiest. So the things that are best for you have a delayed response. So you're going to have to go to the gym a couple hundred times or a couple thousand times in order to get a result. But if you light up that J, you get buzzed right away, right? That's just how everything works, right? So what is happening inside of you shows up on the outside. So whatever you're focused on, whatever you're thinking about becomes your reality. You have to make an effort. You have to make an actual effort to try to stay positive. Because if you don't, then your brain is going to default to negative, and that's what your life is going to be. So how do you stay positive? You stay positive by watching what you consume. Oh, it's very easy to be negative, Lonzo. It's extremely easy to be negative, right? You have to fight it, but that's the way the world works. Because if it was easy to be positive, then we'd be living in a utopia. The negative is just as important as the positive, and the negative is not worse than the positive. It's just part of what we have to go through. Because you know what did 50 Cent say? Joy wouldn't feel good if it wasn't for pain, right? Sunny days wouldn't feel good if it wasn't for rain. Something like that, right? So we need that negativity in order to appreciate the good, because the good would be meaningless without the negativity. But you also get what you focus on. So if you keep focusing on negativity, you're going to get more of that. So you actually have to train your mind to focus more on the positive. It takes zero effort to get fat. It takes no effort. All you got to do is just eat a bunch of food and you get fat. In order to get a six pack, it takes an insane amount of effort, right? So the stuff that's easy, you want to stay away from, right? It's easy to scroll. It's easy to not read. It's easy to do things that are not productive, right? You have to train your mind to focus on doing the right thing and being positive, and then whatever you're able to maintain in your head consistently will end up becoming your reality. That's why all successful people, if you look them up, they have insane discipline. They have crazy discipline. They do things that will make you think that they're not human, and that's because they are in complete control over their mindset and what they're trying to do. So they control their mind doesn't control them. Absolutely, yes, it's definitely about action. But everything starts with the thought. Everything starts with the thought. Yes, action is just as important, but you have to be able to control your thoughts, because right now there are people, technology, energy, music, whatever, anything that is trying to control your thoughts, right? So you have to take control by not focusing on negativity, focusing on positivity, focusing on the things that you want and not the things that you don't want. And then eventually your life is going to reflect that which you focus on the most. Next up is the law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequence, just like a domino. You drop the first domino, the rest of them fall, right? And it sets off a chain reaction. So small little habits every day is going to give you an amazing result over a long period of time. So let's say you read 10 pages of a book every day, right? You're going to read over 3,000 pages by the end of the year. Now, that 3,000 pages means you could learn one idea that could change your life. But if you didn't take the small action of doing this every day, you would never get that result. Same thing with taking a 20-minute walk. You see, people think that you have to do crazy things in order to be successful or in order to win. This is not true. All you have to do is to be consistent. You have to be consistent and understand that if you just do the same things over and over again with small minimal effort, like for example kindness, like putting effort into developing yourself, this is gonna all add up over a long period of time and it's gonna give you an amazing result. I've had this. I posted once a day for 365 days and I got 500,000 followers, and I got celebrity clients, and I got $10,000 months. But all I did was I just posted once a day, right? It's the law of compensation. When I first started posting, my first couple posts got 100. Shout out Lonzo. My first couple posts got a couple hundred views. They got nothing. But now, if I make a post and I don't get 10,000 views, it's a if I don't get 20,000 views, it's a bad post. You feel me? So, but it didn't start like that. So it was the law of compensation. It was just me consistently doing the things that I had to do in order to get to that point, right? And this is what you have to do. Stop thinking that these things are home run swing that you have to go for. You don't have to go for a home run swing. Find something that is going to improve your life and do it for 10 minutes a day. I meditate for 10 minutes a day, 10 to 15 minutes a day. I just hit my 13,000th minute of meditation. So if somebody would have told me years ago that I would have meditated for 13,000 minutes, I would have said they were crazy. But because I just do 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day consistently, it gained traction. And now I'm a lot better at controlling my mind. So next up is the law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction and the law of vibration is the kind of the same thing, right? And the law of attraction gets a lot of attention, man. It's like you say that to like a religious person, they'll be like, "Oh, yo, it's a sin." Yo, gravity exists. You can't see gravity, right? And just like you can't see the law of attraction, but the law of attraction is there, right? What you focus on grows. This is inevitable. If you focus on certain things, you will get it over a period of time. It's unavoidable, right? And what people do is they spend their entire lives letting other people choose their focus for them. And this is not a way to live, right? They let other people choose their focus for them. Your algorithm chooses your focus for you. Your parents choose where you should go with life. And then you get these things and you wonder why you're miserable. It's because you're attracting things that you're not interested in, right? You're attracting things that you're not interested in, and you will always attract what you focus on, right? You have to understand that imagination can create the truth. Imagination can create truth, right? So you're not really, this is not about daydreaming or even like visualizing or whatnot. You have to actually become it. You have to be on the same frequency of whatever it is that you want, and you literally will attract it. So the number one way to attract something is with energy, right? So the type of energy that you put out is based on your emotions, right? Um, one of the craziest ways to manifest immediately is when you're running late. When you're running late and you really want to get somewhere extremely fast, right? You basically set up an emotional output where you sabotage everything around you, right? So everything around you starts to work against you. You ever been late for something and then the red light, every single red light that you run into turns red? All of a sudden, a truck comes in front of you. The elevator starts taking long. The reason why this stuff happens when you're running late, because that's an instant manifestation, because you're putting that energy out there and it's so strong. You're so anxious to get there on time that you're literally creating the situations to make you late, because you attract that which you resist. I want you to never forget that. This is one of the most important things you'll ever hear. You attract that which you resist. So when you're resisting something, you have a energy that you're putting out, and that resistance energy is actually usually stronger than than a regular type of energy, right? Because you really start to focus on this thing, and then it starts to get stronger. So the universe or God doesn't know how to say no. It just knows whatever you focus on, right? So some people call it universe, some people call it God. It's neither here or there for me. But it doesn't know how to say no. It just gives you more of what you focus on all the time. So I have a funny story. Like basically back in the day, I wasn't really into, I was very ignorant, and I guess you could say a little bit of like a homophobe. And so I used to have a lot of like negative thoughts towards, you know, that type of behavior and whatnot. And I don't anymore, because I've learned to kind of mind my business and not focus on things that have nothing to do with me. But I used to really put a lot of energy into this, and I would like think it was a conspiracy, and I got caught up in the YouTube videos. This is a long time ago. I was like 18. This is like 20 years ago. And then I went on a cruise. And when I went on a cruise, I was aggressively pursued by a gay dude, and the dude literally like chased me around the entire cruise. Like I couldn't literally go anywhere in the cruise without this dude kind of bothering me. And the reason why that happened is because I attracted it. It's a crazy story, but I attracted it because I was putting out so much negativity towards that. I ended up getting it. I ended up attracting it, right? And that was a good lesson for me because it's like, yo, like I realized at that point, like, yo, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. You will attract what you resist. You will attract what you focus on. There's only what you put out there. There is not any good or bad. that gonna do for me? Like I need people to really ask themselves that. Like, yo, like when you focus on these things, what is the benefit? Because you're not actually taking action. You're just focusing on the negativity. And you have to understand, like, yo, why the news is around for, right? The news is meant to inform you. But how does the news make money? The news makes money from advertisements. And so the people that make the news, they know that we default to negative. They know that you will pay more attention if the headline is negative. So if they know that you will pay attention more if the headlines is negative and if there's more negativity out there and they make money for advertisement, then what do you think they're going to do? They're just going to show you more negativity because it gets them paid, right? So as much as there's things going on in the world, I pray for everybody. I want everybody to do well. I understand the law of polarity. There will be negative and there will be positive, but I choose to not focus on the negative. I just refuse to do that. Like I said, I wish everybody the best. I want the people in Sudan to be good. I want people in Gaza to be good. I want people all over the world to be good. But I focus on what I can control, and so should you, right? Control yourself, right? The people that focus a lot on these news articles and whatnot, they don't even have their own life together. And then what ends up happening is that they think that, oh, the world's coming to an end. Everything is so negative. Everything is so bad. They focus on that, and that's what their life becomes. You feel me? So really be careful of what you are focusing on. So once again, I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna run through these 12 laws again. The law of divine oneness, which means everything is connected. Your thoughts are connected to your actions, right? The energy that you give to people is the energy you're gonna get back. We like to think that we're separate. We're not separate. Everything is connected, right? It's all one, right? So when you insult somebody, you're insulting yourself. When you disrespect somebody, you're disrespecting yourself. If you were to go online right now, you to put out some content that's negative, you're gonna get negative comments. If you put out some content that's positive, you're gonna get positive comments. Some are gonna be negative because that's just some people's state. Like I got people in here talking crazy. I'm not paying attention to them, right? But it's all one. So imagine it to be like a web, and if you shake this web, everything shakes up, right? There's a law of vibration, so everything is energy. Science has actually proved this already, right? So you are going to attract whatever you're in tune with, and you just have to remember that, like everything is vibration. You vibrate on the level of success and prosperity, you will get more. You vibrate on the lower levels, you get more of that too. The law of action. So don't wait for the right moment. Start now. No matter how small, just stay consistent because that's where progress comes from, right? You're just building momentum with your efforts over and over again. The law of correspondence. What's happening on the inside shows up on the outside. Your life today is directly connected with what you think about consistently. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the facts. Your life today is directly connected to what you think about on a consistent basis. So how do you, well, you just got to figure out what you like, right? So if you're looking for a niche, just think about what you like, right? What do you like doing? What are you interested in? Look at your algorithm. If you got YouTube, you know what I'm saying? If you got YouTube, go and see what you watch on YouTube. What do you watch on YouTube? Based on that, that's how you're gonna find exactly what you need to be doing if you're interested in making content, Alonso. But that, yeah, we have the law of cause and effect. So every action has a consequence. Like dominoes, every choice you make sets off a chain reaction. The law of compensation. You get what you give. You attract what you resist. Right? This is all how the universe works, how the world works. The law of attraction, which is everybody's favorite. What you focus on grows. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is always changing form. Ice turns into steam. That lust energy that you have, it could either turn into something that you push out of your body, or it could turn into creativity. That's why Nikola Tesla was a virgin, right? But we ain't ready to go there yet. The law of relativity, everything is relative. Happiness and success is all about perspective. I seen a dude on Instagram with no hands, no feet, making a steak, looking happy as hell. And people out here complaining about their lives. A man with no legs and no hands, making a steak, looking happy as hell, right? That's the law of relativity. He's not concerned with what he doesn't have. He understands that he has life and he's happy about that. But somebody that has everything working, they have their arms and their legs working, and they have a car and they have a job, they are dissatisfied with their life because from their perspective, they don't appreciate what it is that they have. The law of polarity, it's all over the place. You got dry, wet, hot, cold, light, dark, you know what I mean? So this is just how the world works, right? So whatever problem you have, there's always a solution for that. You know what I'm saying? So then there's a law of rhythm. So life moves in cycles, ups, downs, successes, setbacks. If you try to force things, it backfires. And like I said, one of my favorite things is you attract what you resist. And then we have the masculine and the feminine, which is the masculine is action and the feminine is intuition. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I'm chilling for a while. If you guys got any questions, let me know what's cracking. Ask me anything about anything. I'm not really too particular. I just want to talk about those 12 universal laws. But if you got any questions, let me know. But yeah, man, so over the past couple years, I have reached out to some extremely successful dudes that are worth tens of millions of dollars. And some who was asking to, that's crazy. Well, yeah, dudes that are worth tens of millions of dollars, and I can tell you, man, like yo, some of the stuff they told me, um, you know, it's just about hustle, it's just about focus and knowing where you want to go. I have this one dude, he's worth tens of millions of dollars. He got a La Ferrari and whatnot, and he started a company up with it's about cybersecurity, and he didn't know anything about cybersecurity, but he just pushed, and he ended up becoming a multimillionaire, and his cybersecurity company is doing extremely well. But all he did was hustle. So he just had a certain amount of doors that he would knock on a consistent basis, certain amount of businesses he would hit up. What's up, bro? And he just did that. And from having no experience in cybersecurity, he ended up making millions of dollars. He actually got his first contract for $40,000 and didn't even know how to actually write an invoice. And that's the craziest part, man. That's the thing about this game, man. A lot of it is just action. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this game of life is just action. People think that life rewards like people being special. It does not. What life rewards is the people that take action. If you were to actually just do stuff, you'd beat most people. If you were to actually just do stuff, you would beat 99% of people. And I've learned that over the last couple of years. So um, another dude, his name is Bruce, another millionaire that I spoke to. The lesson I got from him is he told me that yo, nothing's new under the sun. Find somebody that's doing what you want to do, and just use their method until you make it your own. I got that from him. And the last one, he was worth $100 million. He's the richest one that I spoke to. I had coffee with him actually just downstairs from here, and he told me that the number one key to success is focus. It's just focus. How long did it take you to make money once you started your content journey? About 4 months. It was about 4 months. Um, and then it really started to pick up around the 8 month mark. Like I started getting a couple dollars, right? And then like 8 months in, I hit my first 10K month. Just being relentless, just being like, I was never missing a post ever. You know what I'm saying? So that's how long it took. But guys, look, man, I jumped on this joint a little bit. Hey, appreciate that, man. Like y'all try, you know what I mean? I try to push that positivity out there. See, we got Canada in the house. Was cracking. Was cracking. But yeah, I jumped on this live a little bit late. I'm making a little product for basically giving away all my strategy when it comes to content. Everything that I do, all the AI prompts, my scripting strategy, my hook strategies, and all that. So I'm gonna get that for y'all soon. I'm actually gonna jump off this live and go work on that right now. So with all that being said, I'll be back tomorrow. Today was a little bit, high level. I might kind of bring it down a little bit and bring it into something a little bit more relatable because this was like some secret society, some secret society, high level consciousness stuff. So I might bring it down a level for tomorrow. But yeah, hey, thank you, New Vision. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that rocked me on this one. I'm gonna get me out of here, man.